right, here we go. Bowl game style. Bo Ruud, Nick Bahe, recapping it one final time. One final time for this season.
We're a little late, Nick.
We are a little late. Las Vegas Bowl, Utah 44, Nebraska 22. Full disclosure, we are taping this. It's January 4th. The game occurred on December 31st. But I've been all over the map. On 31st, I was in Cincinnati calling UConn and Xavier, flew home New Year's Day, had to get ready for Nebraska, Michigan State, which was an enormous game. So I spent all of New Year's Day. I didn't watch a second of any playoff game. I watched 4 Michigan State games. And so
sacrifice.
So it's, I mean, it's just, I don't know how you want to put it that, but I apologize for not being able to get back to recording this. I just watched the game yesterday for the first time.
Yeah.
Now, I knew the outcome. I and all that. So we always talk about it. It's different when you watch something knowing how it's going to unfold. Real quick, before we get into when it was 7-0 or 14-7, did you kind of think, what? Is it Nebraska? Look out, GBR?
I wasn't overly optimistic. I don't think I really wasn't. I was like, that's good. But I just didn't know, I wanted to see a whole quarter play out. And I think that was, by the Utah's first drive, I kind of went, okay, this is not going to be a cakewalk.
Well, in all reality, and I kind of want to get more into what I'm about to ask you. That was kind of how a lot of games started. Nebraska typically, the first couple of drives, they would move the ball well, and then I don't know if they run out of their script or something like that, or the defense gets a better fit. I don't know what to attribute it to. So it wasn't all, I guess what I'm saying is it's not all that out of the ordinary for Nebraska to start well offensively moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just comes to a screeching halt. In some ways, if you asked me to describe what were most games like, I would say Nebraska's offense moves the ball in the first and second possessions, and then they usually just go into a shell for 2.5 quarters.
It seems to be, the second and third quarters for years now have been bad. Especially, we've been really bad in the Matt Rule era, I feel like, in the third quarter.
I don't quite. Do you have a football explanation for that?
Don't have a good one.
I mean, it's pretty bizarre how you can, against Iowa, even against Penn State, you drive down there and you don't, you get down to, how many times Michigan drove all the way down there? Really only there were a couple of games where the first drive didn't yield either points or getting all the way down inside the 10-yard line. But then, man, they would go into a shell.
Yeah, when adjustments happen, we don't the counter adjustments aren't as good. Something along those lines.
Something happens after the first 2 possessions, defensively adjusting to what Nebraska's doing, and it becomes a big problem. I don't know what to attribute that to necessarily, but it just was one final thud to end what was a disastrous final 3 games. Yeah. I mean, yikes. It's weird.
From the Dillon injury on, it's just been,
the UCLA game had its moments, but you kind of look back on that now and you're like, UCLA was terrible.
Yeah.
It feels like from the third quarter when Dillon broke his leg, this season came to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
And it's weird though, because Nebraska was a 2-touchdown dog. You knew Utah was a bad matchup. We talked about this, and everybody was kind of bracing themselves for a potential 44-22 type of game, but still you watch it unfold. And while you're equally kind of getting numb to it, it still is just disappointing.
Utah didn't have their 2 NFL tackles on offense and their 2 best defensive line. They were down their most important players, you could say. The QB was good, but let's not look at those tight ends and their receivers and be like, God, those guys are The QB was good. He was a good player. But man, I didn't think he was a all-world guy. I didn't see that. And we just were not competitive for the majority of that game. That's the truth.
Yes.
We were not.
Yes. But it just you watch. I guess I'll start with what did you learn? Did you learn anything? Because it is to your point, it is easy to be like, well, no Emmett Johnson, no Isaiah Hunter, no Singleton, but then you counter with, well, they didn't have their best players, and they didn't have their head coach. Their head coach had just left them. Yeah. They had a lot of reasons to maybe not play well.
Yeah.
and they made Nebraska look like a MAC team.
Yeah,
So I guess is there any big takeaway?
I would say the big takeaway for me was
I have two.
Mine's not nice. So you
mine aren't nice either. My first one, and I don't know, this might even be like, I think big broad.
Yeah.
I just watching that game, I just thought Nebraska's just so average.
Yeah.
They have average players, they got average athleticism, they got average talent, and right now, they got average coaching.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm watching how you some of their play designs and all that stuff, and just a crystal clear plan of what they're trying to do. Even how about the one they run the cover zero blitz at like the 10-yard line. They get the perfect call, and Dampier gets the quarterback draw
with the pole.
The pole.
Yeah.
You know, you just pole. Like, yeah, Utah their coaching staff is better than Nebraska's coaching staff. You know, like
that's the part where it's like, okay, that's hard to hear. I was on the same frequency as you, but mine was more framed as, you know, the portal thing's happening. It's going to happen after this game. And I looked around the team. I go, who are we sad to lose? If they all entered, are we upset? You know what I mean? Like, I was like thinking about, like, without Emmett, without Dylan.
It's a good way to put it.
He's gone.
What underclassmen entering the portal would make you go, oh,
like truly, just like, oh man.
Like, I'm talking truly, like, how is Nebraska going to recover from that?
And that was a little disturbing. That's what disturbed me. So I feel like it's like I said, I didn't want to, like, I don't love saying things like that, but that was my genuine takeaway was, if we lost, would it really hurt?
Okay.
Winery, maybe. Barney, maybe.
Hunter,
maybe.
And
then of the linemen, you know,
I don't know if anybody's necessarily risen to that point of like, well, I guess, okay. What's funny is I have like a handful of things I just like concocted in my head. So to your point, this is similar in that regard. I created a dumb gimmick called take out or cook at home.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is portal or you're good with like that. So I just went position by position. Take out means better go get someone in the portal.
Yeah.
Cook at home is like, we're good there.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Quarterback. Take out. Running back, take out. Tight end, probably take out.
Well, Lindenmeyer
he's a senior, isn't he? Or am I tripping?
I think Lindenmeyer's got one more.
Okay, then
I think Lindenmeyer and Carter Nelson have one more. But you know, they I think it was in the paper, like where have the tight ends been the last 5 weeks?
Yeah, Lindenmeyer caught a short pass, and I was like, oh, there you.
I let's say tight end.
You want to cook at home?
I would maybe cook at home with Carter Nelson and Lindenmeyer, just because I think they're good enough that maybe spend our money elsewhere.
Okay.
Like for the money reason.
Yeah. Hey,
right.
You know,
you got to spend your money in some places and save it at others. With that in mind, I would probably say,
let's cook at home.
Let's cook at home there.
Okay. Let's cook at home. Wide receiver, take out or cook at home?
Take out.
Take out. Offensive line. I'd say probably you got to take. I mean,
you're probably,
you got Pritchett back.
Pritchett's coming back. Other than that,
Gatula coming back.
Yeah, and Evans is gone.
I thought he was, but I also thought
I might be wrong too. Lindenmeyer is
Justin Evans. What are you, pal?
What year is Lindenmeyer?
I don't know. I thought Luke Lindenmeyer. No, Evans is a junior. Evans can come back, but I just am like, this was a team that gave up 865,000 sacks.
Yeah, so Evans and Pritchett we probably want back.
Combination, maybe like, I'll cook the sides at home, but go grab something for, I don't know, or like we got sides here, but go to the store and grab steaks or something. Like,
we need
combination.
Yeah, we got the mashed potatoes. We got mashed potatoes. We got Pritchett and Evans. We got mashed potatoes.
Run and go get some steaks.
Go get the steak.
Quick. Okay. D-line, take out.
I think we could I could take out the whole line. I think Winery with the right coaching and motivation has some tools, but like I'm open to a lot of things.
Okay.
Now. But like, let's call it majority of those 8 guys.
Because there are a lot of guys, Keona Davis, Riley Van Poppel,
like Davis.
Cade Petschak.
I like those guys, but like I almost like those guys as like, man, what if those were our backups?
Yeah.
Could we keep them as backups?
I think you need to, when I'm talking about going to the portals, like you're going to get your top, like you need like a starting quarterback, a starting running back.
You need a you need to find a defensive tackle, like a really good, probably 2 good interior tackles and 1 edge guy. And then
to me, that's
Davis. Yeah. And then Davis and Winery are you're like, okay, these are our developmental guys at home that we'd want to keep.
Linebacker.
Take out.
Defensive backs.
Marshall,
Caleb Benning coming back. Rex Guthrie, who had a rough. Rex Guthrie on the low kind of struggled in the last half of the season.
I'd be fine going
Donovan
take out
Jones.
there. Donovan Jones, I would say we cook it at home.
What a sentence. Did you think you would ever say Donovan Jones? I think we cook it at home.
Wait, what are we even doing? What's the thing called?
Take out or cook at home, right?
Is that right? Okay.
I don't know what I can't even remember my own thing now.
I think cook at home is like, wait, was that not the game?
No, but it's just a funny sentence. Yeah. But so, okay, I'm just building off of your point.
I'm putting Donovan Jones in a big pot.
I am going to crock pot Donovan Jones. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to put Winery in the air fryer, Donovan Jones in the crock pot, and we'll throw.
What's that plastic thing you used to do where you dip it in the
sous vide?
Sous vide.
Sous vide, Justin Evans. Well, sous vide, Justin Evans. But to your point, that's a lot of position groups that you're going into the portal. And I agree. And that's maybe a blend of what I'm saying of just average. Like I just look on the field and I am just got to get a lot better, man, in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. I don't see that guy just needs another year. I mean, I'd say the Clark kid, I think that guy is a guy you're like, oh, that's our good developmental receiver, like 6'5". You can see the difference he could make if it all came together. Like he could be a difference maker with his physical skills. That to me is somebody you keep and you protect. Like, let's get this guy another year.
I think you need to keep Hunter.
I think you can keep Hunter, but like, is Hunter deserving of like top dollar? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's more like, I'm happy to keep Hunter, but like, if you got like, you take the best player available. That's what we're doing.
I
right?
know.
Like, and you like, is Hunter your number one guy?
If Hunter is your number one wide receiver, you don't have I don't think that's going to yield great results.
Yeah.
But so I think we're on the same page with that. The other big takeaway I had is, and I'm trying to think of the perfect way to frame it. I learned that TJ Lateef isn't the guy from the standpoint of not going out and getting takeout in the portal. Like, I'm not saying he can't necessarily be your day one starter next year.
Yeah.
But he has not shown me.
He hasn't shown it enough.
He hasn't shown it enough to where all of a sudden you're cooking at home with TJ Lateef.
Yeah. Like you basically had to like, so, you're walking around Costco, right?
Yes.
And, I don't know what's in that package, but that person there that hands you the sample, and you go, that's a good sample, right? I just need the sample to be good enough that I'll buy the whole package.
Yes.
And I'll give that, like, I'm going to bring it home, put it in my freezer.
Right.
And next year, so I'm going to cook it.
I'm going to cook that thing at some point. Yes.
And it's home cooking, right?
Yes.
So that to me was like, TJ Lateef had 4 games.
Mm-hmm. Not a small sample.
I saw enough to go, like, minimum, we got to go get somebody in the portal. And I just didn't see no doubt that's our guy.
I think on the spectrum of, he didn't play poorly enough for me to be like, get him, that ain't the guy. But he didn't play well enough for me to be like, that's the guy. You don't even need to worry about going and getting another. Like, you need to go get a dude that you're either bringing in to start, or at the very least, it is going to be a wide open competition between TJ and this guy.
Yeah. For me, I always look for those moments like they do something that is very special. I don't think I had one like TJ Lateef's special moment. That's it. Like, he wasn't bad. He was just okay. And, he didn't make a ton of huge mistakes, but he didn't will a team to win games. Like, he just didn't show me a lot of that.
No. And I'd also agree, we say, and he's billed as this like runner, like he can run. And then on the other side, you watch Dampier, the Utah quarterback, and you're like, that's what like live legs look like.
Yeah, and that's a physical presence.
A physical,
right?
a dude, like a physically gifted,
Yeah.
dual threat guy that his ability to run the ball is a complete game changer.
Yeah.
I don't really see that. I didn't really see that with Latif, but at the same time, it's weird how he's this runner, but they didn't really try to run him.
When you don't have anybody else you can go to, right?
Yeah, you're probably a little afraid.
You have to be. He's got the gimpy leg. Okay, like I kind of am giving him. He's a freshman. He got thrown in. There's some of that. I think.
Yes,
we owe him a little bit of that. So he's got potential. He can get better. But he wasn't good enough for me to be like, sorry, like we're or like we're just gonna we're not gonna remember with Dylan's like, don't go get anybody because we don't want Dylan to be offended. We're not doing that in this moment. Like he didn't show us enough for us to do that. To say we gotta respect TJ's. He's sensitive about this. He doesn't want anybody to come in here.
I felt like I could understand even the extreme approach of Matt Rule and Dana Holgerson, everybody sitting down and going, we got to go get like a proven guy.
Yeah.
I could understand that.
Yes.
So I felt like that when I sat down to watch, I was like, that was probably the number one thing I was watching for was like, I want to see if Latif, to hell with winning this game, because I just never thought that was really going to happen. Yeah, it would have been a great thing for Nebraska, but my main thing I wanted to see was like, can Latif show me a little something?
Well, and the other thing too, this is a dynamic I think that plays into how the year finished, right? We went out with a thud. Like it was an ugly last few games, and TJ Latif he's not bad, right? He's okay. If we had I don't know, like if we had won a couple games before that with Latif, and then, or I don't know, maybe the scenario is a little different. I don't know. Maybe they would feel differently about Latif, but like when you go out with a thud and this is their third season, there's no more. I would say
long runway.
Like,
hey, let's see what this guy can become.
Kind of a thing. Chappelle said it in his column today as there's no more progress talk. It's results talk.
Yes.
And so the one thing Matt Rule can do in this moment to bring the most excitement to the program is probably bringing a new quarterback.
I agree.
Because a new quarterback is the thing Matt Rule kept doing is like a new defensive coordinator, new
O-line coach, new D-line
O-line coach, new special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
We've got Dylan. We've got, like now it's TJ Latif. Now, like he's running out of those like, well, we got to see what this aspect can do in the run it back thing. That's not going to fly well, but this new proven quarterback from somewhere else is the answer.
Right.
That's his best thing to go sell. And Matt Rule, like the guy can sell it. He can sell the dream. It'd be way harder to sell. We're running it back with the same guys on offense, the same guys on defense, and TJ Latif. So that's why I'm watching this portal season like a hawk, because I think if Matt Rule walks out of the portal season with, we're going to run it back with these same guys on offense, these same guys on defense, and TJ Latif, Nebraska fans are going to be like, blah. I mean, they're going to be so despondent this offseason.
Well, I think I completely agree. And I also could argue that they need to do that. Like I look at this whole picture and I'm like, I don't think it's going in the right direction as it's currently constructed. Like you do need, I know Matt Rule kind of bit off Sip's head in a press conference about the whole notion of this being a reset, but like, to me, you do need to kind of like, you do need to change a lot to me. Like the path it's on is not a good path.
No. And maybe it starts with the quarterback. And that's why I like it, because, it goes back to us getting Dylan. I felt like that was such a huge moment because I was like, I know if you do got a quarterback, it can change things. I do think Dylan changed things for the better with his presence and his ability.
They went to 2 bowl games.
Like that was the best move we could have possibly made at that moment.
Right.
Like some people are so down on Dylan still, but I still think like there was a lot in that was important for the like excitement trajectory of the program, like the excitement part of it, because a quarterback can do it. They can change a team.
Right.
So Matt Rule, I think, needs to do that. in this moment. But, there's a lot of, like I said, but there's so many other needs we have to address. And it can't be, just run it back.
Well, but like you brought up Chattel's thing of the whole progress portion is done. It's about results.
Done.
I mean, because I think even Sam McEwen said something to the extent of the PR period of the Matt Rule era is over.
That's right.
It's now, because I also think it's over from people's appetite for it too.
That's what I mean.
I think people are done with the talk and done with Rule trying to. I think everybody is like, okay.
Well, the Indiana thing has proven the point. So it's over. That discussion is over. We know now the progress era is over because Cignetti ended that era.
Right.
For every coach around the country, Matt Rule falls into that line. But Cignetti, what he has done, and I think I all year said I don't understand Indiana. I've been saying it all year.
Yeah.
I still kind of don't. But one of the simplest explanations that still falls short to explain Indiana, it still doesn't get there. Still don't really know.
Yeah.
But I finally get to watch a couple full games of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Really watch them against good teams, and their teams just don't really make mistakes ever. Mm-hmm. They're well coached and good schemes.
Yep.
In good positions, and their players never take themselves out of position, or they never make a mistake, Nick. They're so well coached and they play so fundamentally well,
right,
that it doesn't matter they're playing more talented teams. They are fundamentally so sound.
Right.
That sounds simple,
but
I didn't really get how sound they were, though.
Right.
They were so sound, Nick.
Right. It's interesting because that's the thing that I think beyond the talent component of what we're talking about in Nebraska, it also feels like there's busts, there's guys there's missing assignments. And that's where it's weird on Rule. On one hand, he plays the we're building this thing bit by bit, we're incremental progress, we're development, we're getting there, all those things. But then he'll also say things even in the press conference, we're trying to be like Utah was 4-8, and then they went into the portal, and now then they win 11 games or whatever. It's well, which one? What path are we on here, Rule? Are we are we trying to lightning in a bottle portal this thing, take it rocket fuel to the moon, or is this a slow thing? He's kind of jumbled in how he
because in the end, it's I think it feels like whatever needs to be said, it's being said versus this is the plan. This is what we're doing. All I know is that we did get better in some areas. We got better in special teams. Turnovers and special teams. We got better. That's good coaching. But our guys are not playing at a max out level. Only Emmett Johnson did.
Yes. That's
called maxing yourself out, right? It looks like the whole entire Indiana team is being maxed out right now.
Right.
That's what a whole team that's and obviously those receivers they got are NFL. Those are good guys. Their quarterback won the Heisman.
Their middle linebacker's a good player. Yeah,
they're good players. But this is at Indiana. Let's not confuse what's going on here. This isn't all of a sudden they inherited Ohio. This is not that. This is great coaching. This is great chemistry. This is great effort. And it just seems like when all those things come together, the less talented team could win, actually.
Yes. And I also think and I know we're kind of all over the place here, but I also get, did you listen to the post-game press conference of Rule? Did you listen to so he had one thing that I think he said out loud that maybe he didn't mean to say out loud when he was talking about John Butler and how he basically forced the 3-3-5 onto John Butler.
Yeah.
And how he felt bad that wasn't, I think in a roundabout way of trying to make Butler defend Butler. But I then I hear that and I go, well, to me, it's almost like you are hiring Holgorsen and you're not letting Holgorsen fully be Holgorsen.
Yeah.
You hire John Butler and you're shoving a system and a scheme onto him.
Mm-hmm.
though these are the decisions that I think all come back to Rule.
Yeah.
Where that's what I'll be interested on, like what type of quarterback Nebraska goes and gets. And does it not sometimes feel like when you conjure up the image of Dana Holgorsen and then you think about what you saw from Nebraska's offense, do those things line up whatsoever?
Not really.
And I don't know what could it be, a personnel thing? Could it be I don't really know what it is, but I also know that it's probably not good to hire people and force them to coach a way that isn't their strength. So
yeah,
I think hopefully you let whatever Orich wants to do, you let that guy do whatever it is that he wants to do. I mean, you could wonder if Tony White was like, oh, you're bringing in Phil Snow to watch over me. I'm like, you don't like too many cooks in the kitchen here. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like I think a part of one thing I've heard from people is Rule's a micromanager, I've heard he's a bad micromanager.
Yeah.
And one thing that maybe needs to happen is if you have Dana Holgorsen, what's the point of hiring Dana Holgorsen if you're not going to let him do what he does?
Yeah.
So I don't know how that pertains to anything with this Las Vegas Bowl, but we're kind of extrapolating into
I think a lot of this is like, and I think we've been very supportive of Matt Rule. And I've given Matt Rule the benefit of the doubt. And I think this is the first moment where I think Husker Nation is kind of looking at Matt Rule, be like, there's no more excuses, like on anybody else, especially. But
this is you.
This is you. And so I think year 4 of the Matt Rule era, it's on Matt Rule, right?
100%.
It feels, and Matt Rule is walking into a bit of a thunderstorm here because it's a tough schedule. So he gets Matt Rule's sort of prove it year is the hardest schedule that he's seen so far.
But I think I couldn't agree more. And that's why I do think, and maybe I'm stupid, I do think I'm going to give Husker fans the benefit of the doubt of there's a world where Nebraska goes 7-5 next year, or even 6-6, and people are exponentially more in favor of Rule now than they were a year ago, because they understand the schedule.
Yeah.
Like it needs to look better.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. They won 7 games, but it didn't look great.
Yeah.
Even when they were winning games, it didn't look like a well-oiled machine or a soon to be well-oiled machine. But you're right. There's no blame in Satterfield. There's no blame in the quarterback situation. There's no blame. Like this is now like no excuses here.
I mean, to say it out loud, this is year 4. Like you can say, like, unfortunately for Rule, like, whatever plans he had, this is your chance, right? So your chance was 3 years to get what you need to get done.
Yes.
And we're going to be extra patient. And I think the worry I have is, build the trenches, build the culture. I do think he's done a good job with some of that. I mean, the culture, some of the infrastructure stuff, good, done a good job. But like the quarterback that the game changer guy that he brought in is gone now.
Yeah.
It feels like we're going to the portal for everything. So like, where's the developmental stuff been?
Oh, I think it's a huge indictment, Bo.
In the world of the portal, like so it's just I'm struggling a little bit wrapping my mind around like how do you approach this reasonably, like with the best interest of the program? Because changing the coaches, I think I'm so slow to want to do that. So I want Matt Rule to succeed. I really want him to succeed.
And what is it? I mean, nothing's happening. I mean, it's a 10-year fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, he took week 5 and when Penn State fires their coach and
parlayed it into
a couple extra years and more money. So like he's probably got a minimum of 2 more years.
I would think so. I wouldn't know how to. I mean, the caveat is always like if they would go out and win 3 games next year, that
somebody might write a check.
Yeah, someone might say this has to change. But But I think that's what's hard about it is like because of the contract and because of the situation, this Rule is the guy that's got to figure this out. Like he's not going anywhere, and there's a lot that needs that. That's what's it's like you're in year 4 now, and it's not like they got to go find if they get a receiver, look out, or if they get
all we ever need is a quarterback.
They need
except for we got our quarterback,
right?
We got our 5-star guy. But
he's got to go get a quarterback. He's got to get his stud defensive lineman. He's got to get there's a lot he's got to fix. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a brand new defensive system with probably a brand new defensive staff. There's a lot of changes going on that all these things have to line up and hit quickly.
I know.
So what the other thing, and we already kind of hit on it because of like the whole takeout or cook at home thing. What's hard is Emmett Johnson made us look like fools, but I don't know if I see it or feel it with Nelson, Ives, or Mosey.
Not really.
Even though Nelson had a nice opening 2 drives,
they're fine. Like I said, I got to see it. I just feel like I don't.
Yeah, I don't think any of those guys have proven to be like, got that check, running back check. Yeah. Nah, I don't agree with that. A couple of other things with the game itself. Ja'Cory Barney, what are you doing? What are you taking it? He in some ways played an enormous role in that game going way south. Yeah. He took it 5 yards deep out of the end zone and didn't get past like the 16-yard line.
Drives me crazy.
4 or 5 times. It's like, what are you doing?
You only take it out if you got the ball going forward, like at the goal line or ahead of it, right?
Or like you said, that like
with a forward momentum,
like you're on your toes, and as you catch, you're going.
It's already you already get 5 extra yards by doing that. So when you are catching it flat-footed 5 yards back, even if you make a decent run, you're probably 10 yards farther back than you'd be. So you're probably getting to the 15 or the 25.
You better be old boy from Iowa, Weegan, I think it was like you better be like a proven, like you let that guy do whatever he wants, or you're like Dante Hall in 2004.
If you're the best return in the country, you get the green light to be like, do whatever you want.
DeJuan Gross,
but until you're that guy,
that's what I'm saying.
You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
Be the guy that just doesn't make a mistake. Greg, I like I'm gonna start using the Indiana metaphor of like those guys don't make mistakes. I want guys that don't make mistakes.
Right.
It's like not everybody's the freakazoid.
Yes.
Make the play of the century, but like you can get guys that don't make mistakes.
Right. And
that's just being a good football.
And you can cultivate confidence and also have intelligence with that. Yeah. You can cultivate, like, we believe in Ja'Cory to go make a play, and Ja'Cory's like, man, I'm going to make a play. But like, even Steph Curry turns down some shots that probably, I don't like this like Matt Rule will be like, well, we believe in Ja'Cory to make plays. It's like
blanket confidence when it's like Ja'Cory's not Dante Hall.
No, when is he proven?
teach him to do the thing that you need to do to win the game, which is like, look, if he wants to catch a punt at the 30-yard line running backwards and just take a gamble on it, whatever, but not on the 2. Right. I don't want to see him catching the ball on the 2 on a punt. On a kickoff return, if he's going backwards into the end zone with no momentum, you tell that guy, take a knee.
Yes.
Because the 25 will just, odds are, every drive starting 25 is better for us.
It did it against Penn State.
Less chance for penalties. All these things,
he did it against Penn State where he brought it out of the end zone. He obviously had the one mistake in the punt return game. Like I don't. It's weird. Barney's like one of those guys for me that is like really good, but he drives me crazy at times with different stuff. But like, I don't know that of all the egregious and frustrating things that unfolded in that game, I'm not so sure that I'm the most angry at Barney and taking it out of the kickoff, out of the end zone.
Poor Barney in this podcast.
God, I'm sorry. It's just, and he scored on a jet sweep and all that. Like, it's great.
In a weird way, he defines the Matt Rule era better than anybody, I think.
Yes, where it's just like there's some
been good.
There's some frustrating as hell things.
Yeah.
Speaking of frustrating, and now it's hard. I mean, because all these things play in conjunction with each other. Nebraska gets the fast start, 8 plays, 82 yards, touchdown. First drive, second drive, 12 plays, 75 yards, touchdown, and then a complete collapse. They had 5 straight 3-and-outs.
Yeah.
5 straight 3-and-outs combined with Ja'Cory Barney bringing it out of the back of the end zone multiple times. You have terrible field position. So you have terrible field position. You go 3-and-out, then you give Utah good field position. So then Utah,
it's bad football.
It's bad football. Yeah. Everything about that is bad. It's just bad. And what's hard is like the offense did the defense no favors, but it's still like, man.
But when you have bad field position, and you can't get a first down to move the field, to turn over the field, then they're almost in the red zone immediately. Yes. Our red zone defense is one of the worst
in the country.
Yeah. Like that's how
it just was like quickly. That's how all of a sudden 37 unanswered points unfolds.
There's more to the field position stuff than I think like people think about, but like you got to be wary of who you are and what it's going to take to win. And sometimes it's like, God, we got to be in good field position. So like we can't mess around on special teams,
right?
Because we can't afford to.
Yes,
you can't afford to do that. And you need to be in the 25 because you know what? The difference between the 25 and the 15, when it's like
it makes a huge difference on
like
punting and field position.
Turning the ball over, it just gets them farther back. Where it's then they have to get more first downs to get into striking distance, right? So like. All these things matter over the course of a game, over the course of a season. And we showed, especially the second half of the year, just like
bad complimentary football. Yeah. Like it's just, but man, I mean, Utah scores 44 points, has 535 yards of total offense. They throw the ball for 310 yards. That tight end, Nebraska made him look like the second coming of Gronkowski.
Yeah.
And then Utah also ran the ball for 225 yards. So you talk about just a really poor final 3 games of the season defensively. Like,
yeah, I mean, this was tough because Phil Snow takes over and, it's like, what's he trying to do?
Rules, coaching the D-line. He's got his backwards hat, which is like.
People aren't in the mood for it. I just don't think.
We've all said this, like, right or wrong, and I know it's probably flawed. Certain things land a certain way based on the result.
Yeah.
And we said it at the time, but like when a backwards hat, when you're, that was backwards hat Matt, I'm coaching the D-line, like, it's just well, like whether it's the backwards hat or the rules podcast, like all that stuff.
It works when you're winning. It doesn't work
when you're not winning, man. A lot of that stuff just doesn't land very well at all.
That's right.
It becomes a thing people make fun of you about.
Yeah,
and it's just unfortunate. But anything else with the defense, like a lot of missed tackles, it just was not very good.
The defense looked talent wise, like I said. You used the word average. That's probably right. But the defense especially was just like I was, maybe you keep. 3, 4, 5 guys you try to keep, but like it's a wholesale go find people.
I agree.
Go find some football guys.
I thought the defense in particular, they looked slow. They looked unathletic. They looked unsure of themselves. Like it just was not a good look.
Our linebackers didn't look like linebackers to me. They looked like short and slow, or like, Javin's like this tall, gangly, like he looks more like a safety than he does a linebacker in a lot of ways. I mean, he was a safety for most of his career, right? Like a nickel or a safety. Yeah. And so like I didn't feel like we had one guy that was like, that's our guy, like our linebacker. I mean, Merritt, did he get hurt?
He must have, because he disappeared.
He disappeared, but he was like the one guy that looked like a line. He's a freshman,
right?
He probably didn't need to be playing this year, but like he's a guy I thought that like looked like a linebacker, moved like a linebacker. The rest of those guys, I just was like, I just feel like we need 2 or 3 linebackers. We need, 3 defensive linemen, a couple of safeties, like another corner to replace Sierra.
Yeah.
So keep Andrew, keep Donovan Jones, but we probably need, we need a few guys.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Probably 7 guys on defense.
Think about that.
Go pay 7 starters.
Yes.
It's probably right.
And you probably I think you need to go get a starting running back. You need to get a number one wide receiver. You probably need to bring in at least one like starting offensive lineman.
Probably two.
Probably two.
Two linemen, a quarterback, a running back.
So that's like six.
You probably roll with our tight ends and say, save money there and do your best.
So you're talking about, I mean, we just listed, you need probably at minimum to go out and find 12 to 14 starters in the portal.
Did I hear that we have like 8 million to work with or something like that?
I don't know what. But this is also where Matt Rule, when he did the whole extension thing, he was like, I now got everything I want. Like, they act like they got the war chest that is ready to be deployed on. Like, okay,
Nick, but that to me is why this month is like, this is it, right? Because like the portal is open in January, and then it closes in January. And it doesn't reopen until, because there's no more spring portal, right?
No.
So that's where it's like,
this is it. I mean, this is where these hires of Orich and Jeep Wade and what they do with the position coaches on that end, side of the ball, and then what they do in the portal with players, like there's like 15 to 20 human beings that Matt Rule has to like go 90% at and be like, hit. Like you got to.
And so the GM, our GM, whose name is, I was just reading about him. Sorry. I just literally, let's see. It is Pat Stewart.
Pat Stewart. Yeah.
So reading about Pat Stewart a little bit more, like, he spent time with the Pats.
Yes.
Like he's a player personnel guy. So the one thing I'll give him is like, I know that system well. They have a system on how they grade and evaluate players, right? So he was there for 13 years, I believe. So he knows that. So that to me is at least like, we got a guy that understands how the NFL, how, the Patriots from, I think he was there, during
like
their runs. Yeah. 13 years of 17 years in the NFL front offices he had. So 13 at the Patriots. And so like, how well we do that, like how well they've been, here's who we're evaluating. And like, I mean, because here's what's hard though, like who's going to be in the portal, you don't know until they're in. And are those guys you've been evaluating, or are those the guys you really want, or are there people that are going to jump in the portal after these bowl games have all kind of concluded, which they all kind of have, most of them. But they got to do such a superb job of evaluating which guys are worth taking and giving the money to. That's really what it comes down to, and then convincing them to come here. Yes,
because it's not. I mean, money's going to talk, but there's an element also of like they want to win.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, and the one good thing is that if I'm not mistaken, this is the first like full calendar season that Nebraska would have had Pat Stewart. Like, so you have. This is the first full cycle where he has been in place and ready to attack this. Yeah. So maybe that's a positive thing.
Yeah. We're going to find out a lot, but like it's somebody's been giving the information that, that Notre Dame quarterback's the one they're trying to get right now. And, he was a backup there. And so, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Like, I don't necessarily like, this is the world we're in, where like our year comes down to January by who can we convince to come here and pay? Like that's our future. That's the future. It's not, hey, we're building through recruiting and, years of development of each of these guys. Like that's like what everybody has done in football forever.
Yeah. And it's not
we're not there now. And so it's like, I don't even know what to think of it, but like, are we supposed to be excited about that?
Well, I will say this. It gives Nebraska a fighting chance at being good next year.
Maybe it does. Maybe it's the best thing for us.
So I think it goes both ways.
Trying it the old way, we couldn't do it or something?
I think it goes both ways. Like,
I mean, maybe that's right. I don't know. I'm just like, I find it weird. I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just like, it's weird. And maybe it is good for us. I don't know.
What a couple of questions. Turning point of this season. I wrote down, Minnesota game, getting sacked 9 times.
Yeah.
USC third quarter, Dillon injured. Or Penn State drubbing. Like what? I think that I kind of want to say, I mean, the obvious answer is probably USC, Dylan getting injured, but I kind of think like everything felt different after the Minnesota game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Minnesota game, because Matt Rule got his extension right before the Minnesota game.
It was right. The Minnesota was if I'm not mistaken, I thought he got it right after. No, you're right. Maybe it was that was the week of.
No, it was right after because
it was right after
because we were like, oh, they're not going to give him. They're not going to pick.
Yeah, because that Minnesota week was the week Nebraska just beat Maryland. That Penn State makes the coaching change and Matt Rule is talked about.
Yeah.
So and then you go out. It was a big Fox game on Friday night, and Nebraska looked horrible.
Yeah.
In some ways, I feel like that was the turning point. I feel like everything kind of.
If Dylan doesn't get hurt, I don't know if we beat USC, but like, it's like you just don't know. You just don't know. Like, I just don't think we're there yet anyway, but like a win against USC changes the narrative a lot.
Yes, I agree.
Think it does.
So, but I still go Minnesota's 9 sacks.
Yeah.
Highlight of the season, low point of the season. Would you say that high was the Maryland win? I mean, that's what's hard about when you get this is like an empty calorie season when you really like, yeah, they won 7 games.
Probably the Maryland, because I feel like
that was the most exciting.
I think the Emmett Johnson phenomenon and those 2 comeback wins I felt were like a big deal.
Yes.
So Michigan State, Maryland.
Right.
But probably Maryland was the better comeback. Emmett had a good game too. So maybe we'd say Maryland because it was a road game. We were clutch. Emmett broke
had the big long run.
Emmett broke out. We kind of felt like there was a lot of moments there. I mean, Emmett's UCLA game was pretty sweet too.
Yes.
I mean, even his Iowa performance was good, but that was a low.
But so low. I put the Iowa loss, probably right, or the Minnesota loss.
It's tough. Penn State, Iowa were.
It's hard to you like group all of those together, but I also think like if you flip it, like if Nebraska would have beat Iowa, like that changes a lot of the vibes of things. But
the Minnesota may have been the like worst performance.
I think the Minnesota loss proves to be the worst performance of the season.
It cost us probably the most because it really brought us back down to earth when we were riding pretty high on like
winning close games and all this stuff, and you're sitting there, you only had 1 loss at the time, and it was a pretty close loss, relatively speaking, to Michigan. And but I mean, something like giving up 9 sacks is like, that's such a jarring number too, where it's like, whoa.
Yeah, we got beat up that game too. It was just like they wanted it more. It was really it was the game that we all said like Nebraska like looked past a team that they had no business looking past. And I think it kind of that whole mindset was revealed. And I think it was hard to find our way back after that.
And sorry, a lot of these questions have a very negative skew to them, but it's just kind of the nature of the moment too. We don't want to sit here and be like, I don't know, tell you what we don't really think or whatever. But I was thinking about this in 3 full seasons under Matt Rule. What is his best win? The Colorado game in year 2.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that's the high point.
Yep.
And the best win. Because the other one I would have put Wisconsin to go bowling, but that was a pretty bad Wisconsin team.
Yeah.
But or the Cincinnati opener this year, but that really wasn't. I would say it's the
fourth would probably be the bowl game against BC.
The Pinstripe Bowl. Yeah. But the year 2, I mean, you're up, what was it, 28-0 at half or 21-0?
It was rocking.
And it's Colorado, and then it's Shedeur Sanders, it's Travis Hunter, it's Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day in Lincoln. Like, to me, that is unequivocally the high point of Matt Rule so far. What was because obviously I think we'd all agree that this year was, this year was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
What was the biggest, like if you had to, what was the biggest disappointing element or what was the most disappointing thing to you? For me, I really thought year 2 Dylan Raiola combined with a full off season of Dana Holgerson being in charge of the offense I thought this offense was ready to explode in air quotes. Like I didn't think they would necessarily like be the number one offense in the country, but I would say that whole picture I thought was going to yield better results than it did.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It was like that was going to be our identity. Was like, look, we might not have the defense this year.
Yeah,
but we're going to have Dylan in this offense. We're going to be dangerous. We're going to have that for the next 2 years, maybe, or year to two of like, this is what we are.
Right.
This is our moment with Dylan. Like, I think we were all expecting that was going to happen. And then it just never quite happened.
No.
We never
really got rolling.
We weren't like bad, but we weren't good.
They would go into these lulls.
We go through the lulls.
Like we talked about, they would go
Dylan
through
would get sacked a lot. Yeah. Dylan was good, but then he would get sacked a lot.
Yes.
So it was like hard to know, like, how good can Dylan be? It's like, it's hard to know. He gets sacked a lot.
Right. I know. And so it's because I think I think we all expected the defense to kind of take a step back.
Yeah. We didn't have the horses and we knew it. Right.
And that's what we assumed was going to happen. And that's what happened. But the offense I thought was ready to kind of take a big leap. Certainly and
Emmett Johnson became a first-team All-American, and our offense couldn't make the leap.
Imagine someone Imagine someone telling you at the start of the year, Emmett Johnson is going to be a first-team All-American. You would have thought, oh my God, is Nebraska going to win 10 or 11 games and be the number one offense in the country?
Yeah.
I mean, that's truly what it felt like was going to be the case if Dylan or Emmett popped the way he did.
Yeah. But I mean, our O-line, though, that's the problem. The O-line was so bad and played so poorly. I mean,
yeah,
like, I don't know what their talent level is compared to around the country, but I can tell you the way they played, it was like they played at a D level for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they played some games that were better. UCLA, they came out and I felt like they played.
Yeah.
They played a few games down the stretch better. But when we needed them, they
short yardage, couldn't move the trenches, couldn't protect the quarterback.
In the big games against Michigan, against Minnesota, USC, like these, like they couldn't protect.
Yes,
they just couldn't.
They couldn't do it.
Dylan held the ball, but they couldn't protect either.
But obviously, the good vibe stuff from this season were Emmett and the special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, Mike Eckler, I know we're frustrated with Barney and how some things unfolded at the end, but overall, special teams won probably 2 games this year.
Yeah, and I'd say that's a definite highlight. We should never look past how long we've been waiting for that.
Yes.
The turnovers have been better, but also I think a highlight we should make note of is, the fourth quarter comebacks, like being competent and able to play in the clutch a little bit. Like,
couldn't agree more.
Let's not look past that in this moment because we're a little down on the season.
The whole,
that is something important for our program in the future. Is like, okay, we done feeling like we can't win a game. Like we can win games in the clutch. And we did that a few times this year. That's going to help get sort of that monkey off our back that God, I felt like for years and years.
Good call. Because Cincinnati made the clutch play defensively. Northwestern and Michigan State and Maryland, the offense stepped up and made big drives and big plays down the stretch. You're right. That combined with special teams are things that have eluded this program for a long time. We can't look at just to point out the negatives. Those were certainly positive things for this season. Excluding Emmett Johnson, who had the best season individually? Because it's obvious it's Emmett. That's like, duh. I mean, Hunter, Singleton, Wright, Sierra Wright.
One of the corners, probably.
That's what I would have thought. Marshall or Wright, probably.
Marshall or Wright.
But I guess that's kind of what you talked about at the start of like, who on this team are you really like, boy, can't lose them? Like, when you just think like, let's make a list of who balled the out this year. You're like, Emmett.
Lindenmeyer was
Lindenmeyer had some moments. Barney had like a 2-week stretch where he was pretty good against Michigan State. Michigan, he caught the Hail Mary and all that. Hunter probably.
Evans was fine.
Justin Evans did a decent job. Winery flashed a few times. Like, and then I think the answer is probably the corners. Wright and Marshall for the lion's share of this season, 10 games, 11 before the Penn State game. This is basically the number one pass defense in the country.
Yeah.
Can't do that if you don't got two guys. So I'd say the corners.
I'd say the corners. They finished the season they didn't play good at the last 3 games, but like the first 9 they were better. So
maybe the portal, we'll wrap up with this. Maybe the portal pickups will be so good and so exciting that will sell itself. But I will be very curious how Matt Rule sells Nebraska this offseason, and then what even is the story that we try to sell ourselves on. Because after year one of Matt Rule, it was like, hey, it's year one. It's going to take some time. Quarterback spot was a mess. We're going to give Rule a mulligan. We got Dylan Raiola.
Yeah.
Year 2, heading into year 3. Hey, got to a bowl game. That's progress. Marcus Satterfield was a mistake. Got Dana Holgorsen. You saw what he did at the end of the year. Yeah. They won a bowl game. Dylan Raiola, Dana Holgorsen, that picture, look out.
Yep.
This year, unless there are some like headline guys in the portal that come in that garner immediate like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting how you go about selling Nebraska in year 4 under Rule. Not that matters, but I'm just
Matt Rule I think he is a smart guy. I think he's very savvy with understanding the lay of the land. I think he's usually ahead of the curve. So to me, he's ahead of the curve. I think he knows he's got to get a quarterback that he can sell the program.
Yes. Because I didn't think about it. It's a good point. Like, I think the quarterback is such an important position for hope and excitement that you almost have to do it for that as well. You need him tangibly, but you also need a quarterback intangibly.
I think if you got a guy, the best guy you can get is equivalent to TJ Lateef. He's no better than TJ Lateef in reality, or you don't think he is. Doesn't matter. I think you've got to take him to because Nebraska fans right now are not going.
This is as low as it gets.
You don't want a worse player than TJ Lateef. Like, that's just stupid then, right? But like, let's say you can get a guy like this guy's just as good. I think they need to have someone different. I think even with Lateef, if you don't get anybody else at that QB position in there, I think it's going to be a long off season. Like maybe you can't get somebody and we got to ride with Lateef. Okay, that's the reality of it. Hopefully he can do the job, right? But I think if you're Matt Rule and you want to get through this off season with some excitement, I think your job is to find that guy to sell the program.
I agree. That's a good point. So there we go. Any other parting shots before we leave? I'm sorry, that was certainly.
Let's finish on a high note, Nick. But you got to call. Maybe is it the best Nebraska game, like the best win we've had under the circumstances?
People were saying, and it felt hyperbolic the first time I'd heard it. People were saying that the Nebraska hosting Michigan State, number 13 Nebraska, number 9 Michigan State, was the biggest regular season home game in Nebraska basketball history. You hear that and you go, whoa.
Nick, we've never been ranked. Have we been the top 10 ever?
This was the second ranked versus ranked home game for Nebraska basketball since 1991.
Oh my gosh.
So this was different than No Sit Sunday, because No Sit Sunday under Tim Miles, remember they had the hot final month, and that felt like lightning in a bottle.
Can we get into the tournament?
Can you even? Game? And they had to got him in the tournament as like an 11 seed.
Yeah, get into the tournament.
This is like you are putting together a resume to be like a top 3 seed in the NCAA tournament now.
It's almost surreal that this is happening, because I think almost everybody's waited so long in both sports. It's like, it's not possible. Well, and why would it happen with basketball? The one that doesn't have the crazy
resources and
fandom. And it's happening in what can't happen in football is happening in basketball. We will be a top 10 team in the NCAA in basketball.
Right. Which is, for people that understand, as you do and everybody listens does, the plight and the journey of Nebraska basketball, the idea that they would have ever been a top 10 team seems like the most far-fetched thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And that environment was pretty sweet.
Well, I had forgot the game had started. I turned it on, and Nick, forgive me, I didn't know you were on the call.
Oh yeah, baby.
I didn't know it. Good friend I am, but of course, this is where not being on Twitter, I don't get the updates of who's calling what. And my wife is like, honey, you should watch this. And then I heard you. I go, and Nick's on the call. So then she was all fired up. You were on the call, so you got to call one of the historic games in Nebraska history. So that's got to be pretty cool.
It's fun when I think about it. I was on the call for Fred Hoiberg's first win at Nebraska. I remember interviewing him on the floor after the game. Was on the call when Nebraska had a roaring comeback and upset top 10 Wisconsin, and the fans rushed the floor, and I interviewed Hoiberg, like fans behind us. I'm on the floor with him. And then to see Fred again after the game as the court's being stormed was like, it's just cool when you were like there for a lot of big moments as Nebraska basketball's trying to climb.
Right, Nick, that's the history. Like you get to be a part of the history, which is like a little bit like you kind of know it when it's happening, but you don't. I think it's hard to like fully grasp. Like that's the stuff that will be in the history books.
Yes, yeah. Well, and you brought up whole like Indiana doesn't like they don't make mistakes. They're like this team. Yeah, they don't make very many mistakes. Mm-hmm. They're old. They're tough. They're smart. They have a clear understanding of exactly what they're trying to do offensively and defensively. Yeah. Like Sam Hoiberg is like, you talk about the whole like maximizing thing. Yeah. He's on the short list of like, I'm not sure I've seen a guy maximize to the degree Sam Hoiberg is maximizing himself. Yeah. He really like, there's like every opportunity where he drives in there, like the average decent basketball player makes that mistake under that circumstance. He's like, I'm just not going to make that mistake. Yes. I'm going to pull it out and give it, like he doesn't just throw it up, get blocked, get like drill. Like he always finds a way to like sort of like, all right, just make the easy. Or in the first half play. In that game, a couple of times, like late in the clock, he hit a seam with the whole thoughts of like, I'm going to kick it to Mast for a three. Like, so I'm going to get into this spot that's going to suck in Carson Cooper. Like he just sees that kind of stuff defensively, rotating. He's all over the place. Yeah. Like Fred has tweaked what he does to fit the Big Ten. He has an assistant coach, Nate Linzer, who he is like, I could make a case. There's no more valuable assistant coach to a program than Coach Nate is to Nebraska. He's the whole defensive guy. Yeah. And he even joked, he's like, I'm Mike Leach's defensive coordinator, like to make that analogy, like how you got to devise things. And he gets those guys. Cause Fred is a cool, calm guy that's more of an offensive guy. He's not necessarily going to get all up in your, not one of those coaches that's going to, get nose to nose with you, but Coach Nate will. Yeah. And like every program needs that. Like you got to, and man, this team it's fun. Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing moment in time. I'm happy Nebraska fans, they get this. They got the best volleyball team in the country, the best program at least, and they got this Nebraska basketball rising star in a sense, because it's going to get a lot easier for Fred now if they can keep this up, get a top seed. All of a sudden, his recruiting clout, his ability to go in the portal and be like, you would never come here before, but you should come here now. And more people they're going to want to invest more into the program from an NIL standpoint. And I mean, don't get it twisted. Nebraska's got one of the lowest, if not the lowest NIL budgets in basketball in the Big Ten. And so what he's doing in terms of what is given to him resource wise is impressive. And then there's also just like, they got to just get the monkey off their back of this whole NCAA tournament win thing. That's a big cloud to just hang over you. Only power conference program, never to win a tournament game. Yeah. They just gotta get to the tournament. And that's why also this is so important. Instead of being, you're in an 8-9 game against A&M 2 years ago, or you have the lightning in a bottle and you're playing Baylor in San Antonio you're the worst seeded team. Like now, guess what? If they keep this rolling, they get to be a 4 seed and play like, some MAC team. Some like with
with 6 directions before the name.
Yes,
You know, it's like that's
right.
what you need. Like, okay, like we're old, we're veterans. Like this is a game we can win.
Yes.
Like where you're not going to be completely just out athletic, you know, by
Yes.
like the best team in the country. So like that.
So that's where it's also huge on like why this game was important is like you're just continuing to put yourself in a position to get the monkey off your back.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like
once the resume hits a certain threshold, like you're going to get the top 4 or 5 seeds.
You're yes. I mean, right now you are. I mean, I saw someone tweet like, what would Duke be ranked if it had Nebraska's resume? And it'd be like probably number 1.
Yeah.
You are undefeated. You're 14-0. You have wins over Illinois, Michigan State, Creighton, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, and Kansas State.
Yeah.
Like,
really good.
You'd be
really
probably ranked for sure in the top 5. So yeah, it was you're right. It after some of the frustrations with the football, like you can tell this fan base is just like
I mean
there's
the facial expressions on TV, it's like comical. Like people are just like it's like down boys, down. Whoa, Nelly.
It was when Carson Cooper was shooting the first free throw with 0.7 seconds left, the volume from the fans screaming at him.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was like, and then when Mast hit the 3 to take the lead with the minute 50 left, the place lost its mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean,
but still, my thing is like the amount of timeouts at the end of these college and pro basketball. Like, can we do something about the timeouts, Nick? It's like 4 timeouts each team for the last minute of the game. It's unbearable. It's so bad.
It's at least they've tried to go away with like they have these coaches challenges now where like it used to be every time the ball went out of bounds, they went and looked at it in the final 2 minutes. Now you have to have a challenge, which that'll speed things up. But certainly like they were working on the clock for the 0.7 seconds. Like that took a lot of the drama out of the moment. It also iced Carson Cooper at the free throw line a little bit too.
Maybe.
But you're right. Like they got to find a way to like
basketball's a flow game. It should be like 1 timeout per half.
Yeah,
just flow.
Let it go. And then you let the anxiety and the rhythm of the emotion part of the game unfold. But yeah, I saw some picture. It was like Bobby Knight and Tom Osborne talking to each other, and they're like, "Coach, you won't believe what's going on here." Where it's like Indiana's a football school, Nebraska's a basketball school. Like it's like the perfect way to capture it. It
is bizarre.
I mean, what world are we living in where Indiana is the odds-on favorite to win the national title in football, and Nebraska is 14-0 and going to be ranked?
How's Indiana basketball? Are they bad?
No,
they're bad. Are they? I mean,
this year they're not bad. They got Coach DeVries. They got Darren DeVries as their head coach. Year 1.
I mean, they would.
But they've been bad. They've been. Well, there's been comparisons. People have made the comparison of like Indiana basketball is Nebraska football. They were good back in the day. They've recycled coaches and all that. Like
so weird though. The part that's weird about it is the resources for the programs when they're flipped like that, and then yet you find a way.
I know. I know. I don't quite know how to describe it. I mean, you got to. The Signetti thing is different than like I have a much better way to kind of explain Fred.
It's a little it's Fred. I mean, Fred's a good coach.
It's his 7th year.
And he's got old, smart. I think he's learned to pick the players that like the bet. Like his first couple years of picking players. That's what I'm saying. Like the one thing you got to give Hoiberg is like he learned after getting kicked in the face the first 3 years, like who he needed to go recruit, what kind of player he wanted, and then he understood what needed to happen on the defensive. Like he made all the necessary changes, at a high level. And so it's different where Signetti just comes into Indiana football and it's like. And this is maybe where it's like, okay, like this is where we're hard on Rule today. Everybody's hard on Rule. Are we giving him enough time? And this is where like, we're basically like, we're done giving you time. We're done. But like, is there a world where like, you just got to give
someone enough time to
figure it out? Or is it like, is that just delaying the inevitable? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So like, I think maybe we're like, I don't know.
I've always said it. Yeah. Do we need to give Rule more time? Yes. But that has to be met with, you need to see progress. Like, I just don't know if people are seeing enough progress throughout this process. That's what I think it is it's not so for as much as it about a timeline, as much as it is of what's going on in the meantime.
Yeah. So I guess getting back to like where we started was like the things that we were excited about that were progressing, like, involved. We thought we had a quarterback. We thought we had some things, and we thought we had this development, but really it's like, we're going to go out and get a full new team.
Yes.
Now to be fair, the whole country is kind of forced into this. Like the incentives are everybody goes to the portal every year, free agency every year.
Yeah.
So that's sort of not Matt Rule's fault, but it's like it's year 3 and we're going to the portal because we truly didn't have anybody from development or the portal the years before that we feel like we need to keep.
Exactly. And
that's where Matt Rule, short term hasn't done well enough.
Yes. And so that's my whole thing. I think people are totally fine with I think people are more patient than you think, but it's gotta look a certain way. That's my thing. It's like, I'm not necessarily like it needed to be this amount of wins. Like, I just want that feeling of when I'm watching something that I feel like it is 100%, it is going in the right direction. Yeah. That's the thing that I don't think a lot of people feel. And we'll see if he can.
It's right in the borderline for me. It's right in the borderline where like I saw progress in places I needed to see it. And then, but then they like step back where they were better.
Yes. Trenches, D-line, stopping the run, physicality, all those things that eroded.
Yeah. Like, so that physical, like solid defense kind of went away. And then, and then of course the quarterback's gone and you go, well, what are we now on the offense? Like the offense was Dylan and then Emmett out of nowhere. But
they need a brand new identity offensively, brand new stars offensively. It's
his month. It's January, Nick. It's 2026. Say it out loud.
I know. 20 still feels like not a real year.
A real number.
I wrote that on a thing. I was like, 2026. What?
And Pat Stewart and Matt Rule.
Pat Stewart, you better step your game up. The only question is to Pat Stewart and Matt Rule, you cooking at home or you getting takeout?
Let's jump in that portal.
Let's go.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.